For the first time in 20 years, the Capitals are headed to the Stanley Cup Final. For the first time ever, they'll meet the Vegas Golden Knights there. The connections between the Caps and Golden Knights are everywhere. George McPhee, the GM who brought the Caps to the finals in 1998, is at the helm for the Golden Knights now. Nate Schmidt, a fan favorite while in DC, plays for Vegas, too. How else does DC and Vegas stack up? We've compiled a useful list for you. Washington, D.C. versus Vegas. Tale of the tape. NHL playoff appearances, 28. I was 1. VGK Stanley Cup final appearances, 1. I was 0. VGK Stanley Cup championships, 0. I was 0. VGK most famous celebrity, Dave Chappelle. I was Jimmy Kimmel. VGK most famous monument, the Washington Monument. I was the Strip. VGK city population, 693,972. I was 632,912. VGK best song about the city, Mambo Sauce, Welcome to DC. I was Elvis Presley, Viva Las Vegas. VGK famous zoo animals, giant pandas. I was none. Ha. VGK biggest gamble, using the metro when you need to get somewhere urgently. I was the Venetian. VGK biggest draw, all the museums are free. I was literally any casino. VFK most impressive dam system, Tidewater Lock. I was Hoover Dam. VGK it counts animals native to area, eastern gray squirrel. I was Desert Bighorn Sheep. VGK city's nickname, Chocolate City. I was Sin City. VGK the Capitals versus Golden Knights. 2018 NHL Stanley Cup Final Series gets started with Game 1 on Monday, May 27 at 8 p.m. on NBC Sports. Channel Finder, more Capitals stories in what is perhaps the most unexpected Stanley Cup Final pairing in recent memory. The Washington Capitals and the Las Vegas Golden Knights are going to make history this year. Either it is going to be the first expansion team to win a title in their first season, or it will be a team looking to end a 27-year title drought for one of the biggest cities in the United States. But what it will not be is the first DC vs Vegas postseason matchup. Going even farther back than the Capitals' last Stanley Cup appearance, 1998, the Georgetown Hoyas and UNLV Rebels met in the 1991 NCAA men's basketball tournament. Sin City took the first, and up until now, the only postseason bout between these two cities. The Larry Johnson-led University of Las Vegas squad powered right past the Hoyas in the second round of the NCAA tournament. DC Sports and second rounds, I know right? Coming fresh off the NCAA title in 1990, UNLV waltzed right to the Final Four before meeting their demise against Duke. It also ended up being the last game for Dikembe Mutombo in a Georgetown uniform. While in all likelihood this will not be the final game series for Alex Ovechkin rocking the red, it may be his last and only chance for him to play this far into a postseason. In the past 2 seasons, Vegas has gone from 0 professional teams to having a Stanley Cup contender, a WNBA franchise, and lined up to take over the Oakland Raiders in 2020. Now time for the Golden Knights Cinderella story to come up a little bit short. More Capitals news. The odds have never gone the way of the Washington Capitals. After years of being the common pick to finally break through and win the Stanley Cup, this was most definitely not the year. Yet, here we are with the Capitals as one of the final 2 teams standing. For their upcoming Stanley Cup Final, the Caps are the underdogs against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The opening line from OddsShark has the Golden Knights as -135 money line favorites to win the Stanley Cup. The Capitals were listed as 115 underdogs. Vegas, the betting entity, not the team, has not exactly been the most reliable this year though. After all, the Golden Knights were 100/1 odds to win the whole thing. Now they are 4 games away. In their past 2 series, Washington was not the favorites. the Capitals have not been favorites since the first round against the Columbus Blue Jackets. For years in the Alex Ovechkin era, they have been the favorites to not only go on to play for the Stanley Cup but winning it. In 2018 they started the season tied for the 5th best odds to win the Cup, 14/1, one of their lowest opening marks in the past decade. For full perspective, Washington was tied with the Toronto Maple Leafs and behind the Dallas Stars at the start of the season. Without question, this underdog role has fit them quite well. They shouldn't want anything to change heading into the biggest postseason series in 20 years for Washington, D.C. More Capitals news.